I think I have made it no secret that I am a filthy cheater. Not multiplayer though, which is why I don't play multiplayer games, but on single player, whew, boy. But seriously though, everyone has their own styles of playing their game. Some wants to be a little bit more challenged in their games, others just want to feel powerful, some just wants to shift through the story, some just simply want to be relaxed. That's why we have many different types of games. We have games that are challenging, we have games that are relaxing, and those games have different difficulty options for you to choose. There are tons of games out there that will cater to different demographics and will hit on many different markets. People go to video games for many different reasons, and honestly, who am I to judge their playstyles? That is, unless you are a game journalist whose job is to play video games, in which your playstyle is absolutely right to be judged. Remember Polygon's gameplay of Doom? Or that awful Cuphead gameplay? No wonder why the journalists are so pissed. They're being told to actually do their job well. But as for the rest of you guys, go ahead and play games however the hell you want.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games. Because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
As for you, writer from The Guardian, I don't want to get good at gaming. I want to escape the relentless pressure to improve. I enjoy video games, but I'm not good at playing them, and I don't want to be. Okay, at the surface, the article makes a somewhat nice point, but in the nutshell, this is what the article is trying to say. Let me play games however the hell I want, and all of you who told me to get good are a bunch of pathetic losers with no jobs. It's quite astonishing that we have people who overreacted so much that they would write an article about how a bunch of people on the internet tell her that she sucks. Like a lot of idiots with nothing better to do, I enjoy playing video games. Hello, someone who enjoys playing video games, and therefore an idiot. You and me both. I enjoy video games, but I'm not good at playing them. I lack a certain gamer's intuition. Is this wall gonna be breakable? Which path in this game is trying to let me down? If I dive into this lake, am I gonna find a box of treasure? Or immediately drown and have to watch a cutscene of my character's inert corpse being ripped apart by writhing fish monsters? Those are incredibly basic things. I thought you're not good as in you're okay, but you're not an amazing esports player of some sort. Not, I lack a certain gamer's intuition to figure out whether or not I drown or survive in this water area. Those are very basic gaming rules that you will have to learn. Some games have different rules regarding water. It's about adapting on which one is right. Same goes with the walls. Some games will outright differentiate between the breakable walls and non-breakable walls. I mean, I'm not the absolute best Tekken player in the world, but I enjoy playing the game. But in order for you to enjoy playing the game, you at least need to understand how to do the basic combos. I also seem to be terrible at distinguishing individual elements in most computer-generated landscapes, and it takes me a lot of squinting and screaming, "What is this?" to figure out which jumble of prisms is the lever I'm supposed to be pulling. Okay, some puzzles do take some time to figure out, fair enough. While playing, I'm usually lucky if I can go an hour without getting stuck on 1 pixel of ledge space, where moving an inch will mean falling to my death and having to repeat the last half an hour because I forgot to save the game. Sounds like you're playing old school platformers. In these situations, I usually Google around for solutions. If the game is popular or a couple of years old, there have invariably been people trying to get out of the same tricky spot. The other invariable part is that one person, and often many, will reply to the asker, "Just get good! Get good!" Yeah, the way you frame this entire story is devoid of context. You need to specify the kind of game that you're talking about so that I can give my judgments. I don't know if the particular area that you have a problem with is legitimately frustrating to a lot of people, and a lot of people have problems with it, or if the people on the internet are rightfully calling you out for being really damn terrible at one particular area. By the way, I want you guys to remember the part where she said that she Googled for the solution. I think she's looking for the solution in how to make herself play better, rather than how to get through a particular area. This basically means, try harder, you lazy asshat, or, if you're reading it very generously, you can do it, mate. Keep pouring hours of your finite existence on this earth into achieving the millisecond perfect muscle twitch reaction that will enable you to beat this cartoon nemesis that looks like a cross between a bedbug and a rum ball. That sounds like the description for Dr. Robotnik. And before you say Eggman... Are you playing Sonic? What Sonic are you playing? What level are you stuck in? I genuinely want to know. Sonic does require some level of finesse. And that brings me to another question. Do you want to beat Dr. Robotnik? If so, you have to follow these people's advice. If not, you can just move on with your life and do something else. It is a legitimate option and there's no need for an entire article.
I find this response baffling. I don't want to get good at video games. I play games for purely escapist reasons, and part of what I'm trying to escape is the relentless pressure to improve myself.
No one is saying that you absolutely have to get good. They're just giving you an advice, one that you ask for yourself, and you can choose not to follow it.
If I wanted to develop a new skill, or increase my tolerance for repeated failure, or become more resilient, I'd just put down my controller and engage with the rest of my hyper-competitive millennial life, in which complacency puts you on the breadline, and contentment is something that you can only experience vicariously through looking at pictures of cats lying in the sun.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about, but one thing I do know is that it sounds really damn smug.
There's a name for a frustrating, difficult activity you undertake on a regular basis in order to hit arbitrary KPIs. Work. So much online gaming culture seems to consist of treating gaming like work.
No, we're just playing video games for entertainment, and you don't really have to be good at video games, or at least you don't have to be really damn good. You just need to be good enough to beat the levels. And by the way, if your job is to report on video games, then the people absolutely have the right to tell you to get good.
Maybe this is because about 2/5 of people think their actual job adds nothing important to the world and could be eliminated tomorrow.
That, or the people who say get good just want you to improve your gaming skills.
This relationship between increasingly meaningless work and increasingly work-like video games is well illustrated by releases like Farming Simulator and American Truck Simulator, which allow you to experience insane thrills of having a middle-of-the-road job.
No. I play PC Building Simulator because it's adult Lego, and adult Lego is just pretty damn fun. I play Euro Truck Simulator 2 because it's a very relaxing experience. I can just play this game, put on some random stream, and deliver cargoes from one part of the world into another.
So, I've been in not the best place mentally.
Now wait a minute, man! No!
You're thinking way too deep about this. You're so desperate to prove that these Git Good players are just a bunch of losers on the internet that you have to assume the worst out of them. Oh, they play these simulator games because they wish that they could do all of those things. What a bunch of losers.
Me, age 10. Video games should be cartoony fun. Me, age 24. Harvesting these virtual turnips simulates control I wish I had in my real life. This tweet displays a sense of self-awareness that is weirdly lacking in the legions of Git Good online posters.
Ah, yes, the people who simply gave people the advice to get good are lacking self-awareness. Why? Because they do things that are incredibly pathetic, like grinding for virtual items. What a bunch of losers, am I right?
Rather than acknowledging the real-life deficits in meaning and achievement that make the productive approach of gaming such an enticing prospect, some gamers project this sense of shame onto people who aren't as good as gaming as they are.
And in turn, I, the writer for this article, project another sense of shame. Oh, you pathetic gamers who are good in video games. Do you even have a life? Unlike you losers, I actually have a life, writing an article in The Guardian about how much you don't have a life. The best way to sum up this article is gamers telling the writer that the writer sucks, and the writer simply says, well, you're a loser too. I'm genuinely asking, writer, how old are you?
So Nintendo thinks people are idiots and kids are too dumb to learn to play, so they added an auto feature so you can watch the game play itself, grumbles poster Mickey Trousers about a cruise control feature in Mario Kart.
Okay, first off, I see nothing wrong with the cruise control feature in Mario Kart. You can use it if you don't want to keep holding the A button. And even if you use that feature, you also need to deal with the turns and the power-ups. You can't just let the game play itself and immediately win. It's possible, but very difficult, and it depends on luck. And second, you're picking some random guy at GameFAQs. I don't trust this random guy at GameFAQs as your citation because anyone can be stupid on the internet. I need someone with some sense of credibility, please. Or better yet, someone who presents themselves as credible.
Newsflash, Milky Trousers. This is entertainment we're talking about. This is an object people purchase in order for it to provide them with a pleasurable experience. If someone wants to buy Mario Kart and set it up so that they can get to sit there and watch the car drive itself, who cares?
Someone clearly hasn't played Mario Kart, which is quite an accomplishment for someone who talks about video games. If someone wants to buy Mario Kart so that they can get to sit there and watch the car drive itself, one, they're gonna potentially lose the match because they're not using the power-ups and they're not even turning their vehicles, and two, you just wasted $60 to watch your kart ride itself when you can just watch them on YouTube. What's the point of buying an action video game where you just let the action play itself? I can understand that if we're talking about narrative-driven adventure games, but buying Mario Kart only to let the game play itself is like buying a ticket for a film but then not seeing it and read the plot summary on the internet instead. But still, you are absolutely correct, writer. It is someone else's financial decision and their way of playing the games. It might be the dumbest way to play the game and it might be the dumbest financial decision ever, but who am I to judge? Idiots will be idiots, am I right?
Imagine trying to explain to Max Weber that a crucial constituency left defending the malign Protestant work ethic in the 21st century would be guys on gaming forums complaining that children don't spend enough time sitting in front of the TV.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Maybe it's one of those references that I would only get if I'm a smug, posh hipster.
If I'm going to enjoy the absurd capitalist soma of video games, the last thing I want to do is feel like I'm being badgered by a superior at a dead-end job.
Writer, when you look at the people who give you advice on the internet as your boss, there's something wrong with you.
Don't take shortcuts. You need to upgrade your basic skills. Improve with the core mechanics through repetitive practice regimes, says so many gamers. Alright, calm down, regional manager Greb Flang. Nobody will ever be as good as you at harvesting the virtual turnips. Now let me get back to rotting my brain.
Well, at least you admitted one thing, writer, that your brain is run like a zombie. A cultural zombie whose response to simple advice is that you yourself ask is, haha, look at these freaking losers. In conclusion, the writer is a smug broad who got upset when some people online give her legitimate advice that she herself asked when she could have just ignored them. I really want to ask once again, writer, the fact that you Googled this entire thing showed that you have an interest in getting through the level, but the fact that you shamed the players for caring so much about their video games showed that by your own logic, you are a loser yourself. You don't want to beat the game because you are a productive member of society who have better things to do, and yet you Googled for the solution and how to beat the game. I can spot a lie when I see it, and I can spot projection as well. You might write this article telling others that they're a bunch of losers on the internet for wanting to beat a piece of program software designed for entertainment. Pfft, what a bunch of losers, am I right? But deep down, we know that's just a projection of your inner shameful self. You're not writing this article to actually prove these gamers that they're a bunch of losers on the internet. You wrote it so that you can feel better about yourself. You wrote it to tell the world that there are people out there who are just like you, just as shameful, bitter, and pathetic as you. But since you refuse to admit that these people are you decided to take it one step above and become a morally superior individual. In other words, you're a writer for The Guardian, and Elon Musk said it best. Oh, sorry, was it Elon Chan?